Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video. So welcome back to the Climb to Master. This will be episode 5, and this will be the last episode of the format that I've been doing the past few games. And just quickly, I'm going to ban Riven, so bear with me. So the reason why I'm banning Riven, and the reason if you notice in the bottom left I say they potentially have a GP and Riven one trick, is like two players, one does GP, one does Riven. And the reason why I say that is we just had a dodge of somebody literally just dodged a moment before the game was going to go about. And both of them were hovering those champions, and one of them had their name, had Riven or Gangplank or something in their name. And this is why I say to you guys, always be careful with hovering picks and just, being like, I'd even say calling yourself after a champion, because I know now that it gets, we're in higher rating here, so the likelihood of them guys being on the opposite team is incredibly high, because they're not on my team now and we just dodged. So everybody that was in my game is now re-queuing and they're not on my team, so the likelihood of them being on the enemy team is really high. Therefore I'm like, okay, I'm going to ban Riven and hopefully this guy will first pick Gangplank, and there we go. We've got the two picks out of the way. I'll be able to kind of recognize the name. I think one of them had Barrel in their name, and I think I'll be able to recognize the other name. But picks and bans are going off. We are leaving quite a lot of strong champions open, like Syndra, she's gone. But there's going to be the strong junglers, so Hecarim, Zac, and all these, Vi, all these strong junglers are still going to be here, which could be a bit risky. But yeah, today we are playing mid, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to play. Obviously, I played Karthus last game, a little bit disappointing. I will say again, I haven't released that video yet. I'm not sure what people are going to say. Nice picks. I shouldn't have played when I played Karthus. It was around 9 PM, and with my laser eye surgery, my eyes get very tired. Probably about 7 PM right now, and the screen gets a lot fuzzier, and I was playing at 9 PM, and I couldn't really pay attention that well. So I'm not going to do that again. That was just a bad idea. I'm playing actually before 12 o'clock at the moment. Playing actually at 11:30 in the morning at the moment, because my eyes are like perfect right now. And that's what I'm going to do, is just be really careful with when I play, because that Karthus game definitely taught me a lesson. So what am I going to play today in mid lane? I'm not going to play Karthus probably. I think I'm going to play one of my other champions, so Ziggs or Lux, just because I'm in the mood. Again, let me just stress to you guys, this series is about climbing. It's not about variety. If you want variety, that's the A to Z series. I'm going to go Ziggs though, because I will be playing, there could be episodes that I do play the same champions in a row. And just to kind of mention the point, because some people are a little bit confused of going, aren't you going to climb really slow if you're just playing one game a day? I'm doing every single placement match because placements are kind of cool and weird and stuff. So we're going to see what rating we get and see how the placements go. But after the placements, I will not be recording every single game. I will basically be playing a lot of games, a minimum 3 a day, probably on my main account, and just recording one of them, and then just uploading that. So you'll still get the climbing process, but you won't have every single match that I play. It's allowing me just to play more games, because if I were to record every single game, one, that's too many for YouTube, and secondly, it would take way too long for me to actually do this series. I don't want to be kind of wherever I get placed. Say I get placed in Platinum 5 or Platinum 4, I don't want it to take half a year to get to Diamond, because I'm only doing one game a day. So yeah, we will be definitely doing more than one game. So yeah. Okay, Lux potentially will go against me. Let's look at the win rate, shall we, of this matchup. Oh, it's changed. A Vel'Koz versus Ziggs. Nope, he's gone back to Lux. Ziggs has a positive win rate. Ziggs has positive win rate versus Lux. Ziggs has a 52% win rate against Lux. And just to say, Ziggs only has a 47% win rate against Vel'Koz. So he should have actually gone Vel'Koz if he cares about win rates. But obviously, you should always play what you're better at. You look into win rates a little bit, but don't kind of go by all of, that's it. So we're going to go Barrier just for survivability. Again, Ziggs' playstyle is stay in the back line, just do as much damage as you possibly can with poking people. So without much further ado, let's go in the loading screen where we break down today's game. Okay, welcome to the loading screen. This raised the website lolskill.net, and as you can see, my team has a 50.1% chance to win, so just in my team's favour. But let's break it down. They have a Platinum 1 Aurelia, a Platinum 3 Lux with a very good win rate. Platinum 3 Noxan has yet to play the champion, but also has Thunderlords, Platinum 2 Soraka, and a Platinum 2 Jhin with a negative win rate. My team, Platinum 1 Ezreal, a Diamond 4 Janna, so she's obviously playing a little bit to get to Diamond 4 quickly. Platinum 1 Hecarim with a good win rate. A Platinum 2 Gangplank, looks to be a Gangplank main with a good win rate. And myself as Ziggs has yet to play the champion, so this will be the first game on Ziggs for me this season. The Lux, sorry, does have the Elementalist skin, so hopefully I'll be okay, you know, with my eyes noticing all of her abilities. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just to remind you, this is the final episode that I'm going to be doing the post-game commentary. So starting in episode 6, which is next episode, they'll be completely live. So hopefully you guys have been okay with the style that I'm doing. But I will be back live, I guess, at the end of this game, no matter what the outcome is. Hey guys, so welcome to the commentary part to today's video. So we're playing Ziggs, as you're probably aware. I recently put him back in my champion pool, and I will go over why I did that and his strengths and stuff in today's episode. Because Lux, who I'm against in this episode, is also in my champion pool, and a lot of people will probably think they fit the same role, which they kind of do, but there are some differences. So Ziggs is a champion. Oh, let me just quickly remind you, this is the last video, episode 5, that I'm doing in post-game commentary. So obviously, again, I played the game a couple days ago, and now I'm doing the commentary part now. That makes sense. But tomorrow, episode 6, will be back to full live commentary. So we'll see how it goes. Again, if I find that I'm a little bit too distracted while on my main account, then we'll probably just go back to post-game. But I think I'll be fine. Also, they're kind of pointing out that Hecarim's feet, of the Halloween skin, there's fire on the feet. I didn't even know that there was fire on the feet. Some people say, has it always been there? And I'm like, has it? Like, I didn't notice that. And again, I own all the Hecarim skins. We're against Elementalist Lux. And I will also quickly touch upon the whole point of Riot occasionally releases pay-to-win skins. They don't. The crazy thing is I'm colorblind, and a lot of people have issues apparently with colorblindness and skins and that. And I know everybody has different levels of colorblindness. Mine isn't crazy bad. But I don't think I've ever had terrible problems with skins in League, especially the expensive ones. The biggest skin I had problems with my color blindness was the Pirate Twisted Fate skin. I couldn't tell between his yellow and red card on that skin because it was kind of like both orangey to me. But in the whole thing of pay to win, the thing that kind of, again, we're off a bit of a tangent already, but the thing that drives me crazy about when people say this is the abilities on Lux. They're so extravagant and so blown out compared to her base skin. If you can't tell what the Elementalist skins and all the colours are, then you have no hope seeing the base skin, in my opinion. And again, that comes from a colourblind person, but who knows. But let's talk about Ziggs specifically. So why have I gone back on Ziggs? Well, firstly, I enjoy him, and that is rule number 1 for me in my champion pool. I have to enjoy the champion. That's why some people say, oh, why isn't Syndra in my champion pool, or why isn't this OP, you know, insert OP champion here? Because if I just don't enjoy them, or if I enjoy other champions more, that's priority number 1. Secondly, Ziggs, I find, is a great... he's a great climbing champion in general because he offers something, and you can see my mouse is going mad because I can't last hit at the moment. Nothing's new. But he offers something to me that's very valuable. He offers delaying tactics. So in my champion pool, if you did watch that video, it was between Anivia, Ziggs, and Victor for the same kind of slot in my mid lane champion pool. The reason why these 3 champions were kind of there is because all 3 of them are known to be delaying champions. So if your team isn't doing very well and the enemy team decides to go mid lane, Anivia, Victor, and Ziggs, all 3 of them can stop an enemy team pushing. Whether that's, you know, Victor's laser and his W, Anivia's ultimate and Q, Ziggs with his mines and Q, or even ultimate. It's a very nice thing to have. First Blood also comes in top lane, good gank by the Hecarim there. Again, you have to expect early ganks, especially in top lane nowadays. So that's what Ziggs offers. He offers delay. He also offers poke, obviously, and he offers an incredible team fight if the enemy team do bunch up. So when you combine those things together while Nocturne is looking to invade in our jungle, I'm going to rotate over because I'm just like, maybe we could just pick up a free kill on Nocturne if Hecarim collapses, or if he even goes all in to go for the Hecarim, then I'm already on my way. But Nocturne does decide to give up. I won't notice him quick enough, and then I'll be completely fine. Will use my W just in case. Get out there, fine. But he offers me that delay. And why I say delay is really good for carrying in League, because it gives your team time. Precious, precious time. Most games of League of Legends, I find, are lost in the early game when people either get, you know, they get owned, they give up. These are kind of the biggest points that I think, you know, the biggest area that people lose, as they lose in the first 15, 20 minutes. But Ziggs is a great champion to, even if you're losing, will delay the game another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, just by wave clearing, just by being annoying and being Ziggs. So that's the main reason he's in my champion pool. Now, if we compare that to Lux, because Lux also has this kind of inbuilt in her, the thing is, Lux doesn't have it as effective. So Ziggs can basically clear a minion wave when he gets higher levels by using, unfortunately, there is a kill there on the Ezreal. And Janna still has exhaust, funny. But Hecarim also is going to continue to go for the kill. Heal from Jhin, exhaust also from Soraka. And hey presto, I don't think he's going to get anything, or he's going to attempt to, really, really close. But he does get the summoner, so it's not the end of the world. It was just a little bit weird that maybe the Janna didn't exhaust at the right time to save the Ezreal, or attempt to, but that's okay. Again, straight away the Janna goes negative, and I just want to point something out, is that the Janna's name, and you'll be pleased to know I did report her for that name, is that if you're somebody that finds these immature names funny, you're not painting a very good picture for yourself. And again, I know my channel is, you know, a lot of people get annoyed that I always preach or whatever about toxic behavior. I will never take someone seriously with that name. Like, at the moment I'm in the game, your opinion means nothing to me because of your name. Like, I literally don't care. So if any negativity comes out of that person, again, I'm somebody that just doesn't care about muting, I would just mute straight away. And then the Ezreal does say something like, oh, you easy time to gank bot lane. And I do make the point, and normally I don't type stuff in chat. I just said, it's been 5 minutes. Hecarim's already kind of got first lane, top lane. He can't do everything. Like, come on, have some common sense. So I just kind of point that out. Because again, to me, it's just obvious. But anyway, I do end up muting the Janna because when she says 20, if you don't know exactly what that means, that she's insinuating we should just FF 20, like give up 20. Again, if you don't, I apologize. Sometimes I do use League of Legends language. FF means forfeit, that you're going to surrender the game, and obviously at 20 minutes is when you can do that. So that's what that Janna was on about. Maybe moving forward, and you guys can let me know in the comments, when I use League language, would you want me to explain what that League language is occasionally? I'm not going to do it every video, but like Snowball, FF, and all this stuff that, you know, Mia, I guess, or SS, all this language that League has in abundance, maybe I should explain it a little bit more. Because the weird thing with my channel, there are people that have been playing this game for years, there's brand new people, there are pre-level 30 people, we've kind of got the broad spectrum on my channel, which is cool. Nocturnal does come bot lane, and let's be honest, my bot lane has already is becoming the lane that's kind of struggling. So as a jungler, you kind of want to, one of two things as a jungler you decide. One, do you snowball the lane that is struggling? So, or you snowball the lane that's, you know, doing well, and you just kind of beat down the enemy team. Lux is walking into the river, and I'm like, maybe we can get this kill. I use my W just to kind of move her off to the side. Hecarim comes in with Ghost, so much damage. I get the ultimate with the kill with my ultimate. Hecarim, by the way, there, he was kind of feared, but I do actually think he was probably going to give me that kill. But Gangplank picks up with his ultimate, so that's a great situation. Kill for me, kill for Gangplank, 2 assists for Hecarim. Gets the Lux off the board, gets the Nocturne off the board. Great play. Gangplank just has to be careful of top lane. Anyway, bot lane gank, and see how much this Hecarim is doing. Like, so many people say, like, oh, Hecarim is, you know, he's a good jungler. Yeah, he's probably the best jungler right now. I did do a Hecarim A to Z episode recently, and I did some good things in the early game, but the sheer amount of pressure, and I always say that word, pressure that Hecarim can give in the early game, is immense. The moment that he can go back and buy a Sheen in the early game, he just one-shots people. Like, it's actually ridiculous. And because of he's a movement speed intensive champion, that you take movement speed quints, you buy tier 2 boots early, you're around the map a lot. Like, you could be in bot lane, and the next minute you're in top lane, and the top lane is like, how did he get top? That's Hecarim, and that's why he's so strong at the moment. And you may ask, what could they do to kind of nerf him? Just tone down his burst is probably the best way to deal with a Hecarim, because it is a bit too strong that a massive tanky horse is just charging over you, and you're like, I'm half health, and he only has a Triforce. So, you know, and that's in late game, so that's probably what I would say. Lux, again, is going for the control ward. I think that's what she was probably looking for before, when we actually got the kill, but she will get it. I don't want to go too risky, because Nocturnal is probably up by now. Now, the cool thing Ziggs that also he can do is zone people. Zone is an amazing tactic if you want to basically be kind of like a shepherd, that you want to herd the players in the way that you want to, or deny them, and having those mines there there, you see Lux just gave up. She just went, okay, I'm going to go the long way round, which gives me the free control ward. You can do that in multiple instances. It's not just to stop them getting back into lane. You could herd somebody to try and get them to, like, your enemy, your jungler, to get a gank off. Like, that's what it could be. Now, unfortunately, Lux is, again, looping around, looking for control wards. She is you can tell already she likes to clear wards as early as possible. We are going to try and go for the Nocturne. He does use the Blasting Plant to his own advantage, and he will go out. Unfortunately, a Irelia TP, and what you're about to see here is a massive mistake by me. Bit of rust, probably, on the Ziggs there. I use my W, and I completely fuff it. I do use Barrier to try to survive. I do throw my ultimate down just to do some damage. And unfortunately, the Irelia TP did muck us up a little bit. But that was more my fault, that I just W'd completely wrong. And again, that's a mistake, bit of rust, whatever you want to call it, is I went way too close to the actual central column of my W, so I didn't actually get the distance. Think of it as the Blasting Plant. And I could have easily survived that, let's be honest. Lux is going to continue going for the kill. I don't really know what Janna was doing this whole entire time. Probably typing. Bit of a spoiler. She was apparently being toxic the whole game. So that's a thing. And that's why I mute people. So many people, again, I like to talk about mutes occasionally because so many people think they're a big deal. It's like, oh, you can't mute a person for saying one thing. You can. You can mute anybody anytime you want. A lot of people in League actually mute everybody from the beginning of the game. And I don't want to do that because I do like having the occasional game that I'm on the same page and having jokes with people. That's a good feeling. But if I just have a slight off feeling about somebody, they're gone. They don't mean nothing to me. Again, you don't need, and it's a crazy thing, you do not need any communication to get Diamond. You do not need any communication to get Challenger in League of Legends. You just have to be good enough and you just have to have common sense and be on the same page as your team. And sure, if you can type to them, that's great. But a lot of the time, people are a little bit too sensitive, or like if you offer some advice or encouragement, they'll freak out. So typing and that to me is nothing that I need. It's kind of like an average thing to me. Sometimes it'll be okay, sometimes it'll be terrible. So that's why I don't think mute is a big deal. Top lane gets another kill, and every single time I believe Hecarim has gone top lane, they've actually managed to get a kill, which is great. Now, another benefit to Ziggs, and let me just point it out, is his tower pressure. Now, normally you don't put a mid laner to having tower pressure, especially an AP mid laner, but Ziggs is definitely one because of two reasons. Three actually. He's an auto-attacking champion. He likes to auto-attack things while they're diving the Nocturne. So yeah, he likes to auto-attack things a lot. His passive has an auto-attack buff like a mini Lich Bane, which does affect towers. And then finally, I believe the percentage is when a tower gets to, I think, around 25% health. I could be wrong about that, or it might scale up with the W leveling. You can then explode a tower when it's on a pretty high amount of health still, which is insane. And that can save your butt so many times, and that can get you towers for free, and people just don't expect it. Again, Ziggs hasn't been that popular for the past few months, maybe even past year. He used to be more popular, so people probably aren't still fully into this change. They probably don't remember it that well. Now, what you're about to see, and again, some people may question, I'm going to use my ultimate to clear minions. A lot of Ziggs players do this, and a lot of people get confused going, why did you just use ultimate? Think of it as a Lux ultimate. Lux use ultimate to get farm quite often because it's actually not that big of a cooldown when you actually think about it. Like, it's a minute and a half cooldown. So a lot of mid laners, they have about a 2-minute cooldown. Lux is completely out of position, by the way. I don't even know how she ended up there. And then we're going to continue going for a little bit of pressure. Ezreal should pick up the Jhin. Soraka is going to try and get away. I do go for the Michael Jordan, but I absolutely miss it. She flashes out of it, actually. Hecarim will continue, which is a little bit questionable. And as he continues, the Nocturne shows up. So that's unfortunate. He will get another kill, which is great. But he does give a shutdown when... Did we need to do that? Probably not. I know kills are great. And every single kill, well, it does give Hecarim more strength. Now I'm thinking, what's this guy doing? Let's kill him. I might have bumped him out the way to get the kill myself, cough. So there's a nice kill for me. And that will probably allow my Ezreal, while I take a bit more farm, to go for the tower. I'm going to leave because, you know, I just took a kill and I took farm from him so he can have the tower gold. It's actually not First Blood Tower, so never mind, strike that. I'm just leaving anyway. Probably going to head over to blue and then probably go back. You can see in chat I go yoink, because yeah, I kind of stole that, I'll be honest. Again, kill stealing isn't a massive thing. If it goes to people that can carry, thumbs up. Like I always say, if you trust yourself more than your teammates and you're playing a carry champion, take the kills. Don't take every kill. Like, you know, I've got only 2 kills. If I already had 5 kills and Ezreal had none, sure, I probably would give him the kill. But I need to get myself strong, so I'm going to take some of the kills. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all if you're in a position to carry. And it sounds weird, but I actually watched a video, an old video of mine that I did about 2 years ago on this channel that actually spoke about that, and I have the same mentality now than I do then. And I was actually, if I'm playing Lee Sin, back then I played a lot of Kha'Zix jungle and Rengar jungle, and I was like, if I play Kha'Zix and Lee and Rengar, you bet your bottom dollar I'm taking kills. Now I do go for a blind ultimate there because I'm kind of thinking, where would they be? I believe I hit the Lux there. I go again for another Michael Jordan, but I miss it. She flashes out like the Soraka did. Gonna continue trying to go for the Nocturne. Hecarim is a, you know, brave person. He gets the kill, dodges the Lux ultimate, which is great. So I also got an assist for the Nocturne, and the weird thing, I literally just watched it, but I have no idea if I hit him with my mines, or I don't think I hit him with a Q, so my ultimate must have hit him in some way. His damage didn't look, his health didn't look that low, so maybe he spell shielded my ultimate, therefore I still got an assist, who knows. Do go for the Lux because I had a funny feeling she'd be over there. Jhin is looking for a bit of aggression on me. For some reason they're in mid lane, not bot lane, when they could still get their tower, I think. I don't think my tower in bot lane's dead. But now it gives me a position to kill people, to poke them, to try and go bam. With an Ezreal that has already got Gauntlet, by the way. Lux does hit me in a pretty close-up spell. I'm going to try and get away, use my barrier, try to use my flash, and there's a Nocturne. Of course there's a Nocturne. That's pretty much what I do, is I get away and I run into danger. I am like Scooby-Doo. So unfortunately I do go down for nothing. It's a bit disappointing. Whenever you do and you have an advantage and you kind of, let's say, throw that advantage away a little bit by a mistake, it's not a very good feeling. But my Ezreal now is mid lane, and let me just point out, it's fine for my bot lane to be in mid lane because we have already got their tower. The confusing part is why their AD carry is mid lane, because I know Lux isn't in the lane right now, but when she returns, they should not have a Jhin and Lux in the same lane together, because that is not gold efficient. Is that you've got 2 carries, only 16 minutes in the game, that are sharing gold. That's not great. So you want 1 in the mid lane, 1 in the bot lane. That's why you have lanes. Anyway, we're going to go for the dragon now, unfortunately. And again, I will say this is no fault to the Hecarim. He didn't get the dragon, but that was so much damage that just came out. There was no chance for him to get that dragon. Going to go for the ultimate, hit the Soraka, managed to get the kill myself. Honestly, I have no idea how I did. And we're going to continue going for the Jhin. He does have double buffs, so a lot of people may be thinking, oh, you'll give that kill to Ezreal, won't you? Not when he has double buffs. If he has double buffs, I'm going for that. So we are going to continue. Both of us are kind of like hungry dogs, and I pick it up. So I get the double buffs. That's exactly what I wanted. Again, it's not really the red buff that I care about. Red buff is very good for Ziggs. Like I mentioned earlier, he is an auto-attacking, reliant AP champion. He has a passive that gives you an auto-attack buff. So you do want to look for auto-attacks on Ziggs. So red buff is actually not bad for him, but obviously the blue buff is kind of what I want. Now, some people may also ask about my build. So let's talk about that with Ziggs in a bit, because again, I'm saying this auto-attacking champion, so a lot of people think Lichbane is your best friend. In certain situations, yes, and in most matchups, I will agree. Lichbane is great. Is it a rush item? Not really. It's not a rush item. Lichbane doesn't do a lot for ranged champions until you actually get a bit of AP behind you. Like on Fizz, you could rush it, I guess, but I probably wouldn't even rush it on Fizz. I kind of let it to be the 2nd or 3rd item on most cases. Now, the reason I'm not going to go Lichbane today, spoilers, I don't do it. I might try to build it later, but I'm not building it early in today's game. One, I'm against a Lux, and secondly, they have a Jhin AD carry. When am I going to get to these champions? How am I going to get to these champions? The only time I'm ever going to get to these champions if they make a crazy big mistake. Which again, I do give my enemies sometimes the benefit of the doubt. I do kind of think, okay, they're not bad players. They should be good players. And I kind of think, okay, they're not going to just badly position. Maybe I should. But I'm not going to buy Lichbane because I should never be able to get to a Lux. I should never be able to get to a Jhin. And I do mean in auto-attack range. But if I go more AP, then my spells do more. And obviously my spells can reach them. Nocturne is going to jump on my face yet again. He has a pattern of doing that so far. I am going to get away with my W, however. Going to try and just do as much damage as I can. Boom, the Q goes in the middle. Throw my ultimate down. The pony comes in. He gets 1 kill. He did try to go for the Soraka, which was very close. He nearly got her, but she just ulted beforehand. Hecarim Hecarim does go for a questionable play. I was waiting for the satchel, get that tower. So that's the satchel bomb thing that I was talking about. But Hecarim does go down. I don't exactly know why he went there. Hecarim has done that now twice that I've seen. So he went into the tier 1 bot lane, went for the Soraka kill, and then the Nocturne showed up, and then randomly went there. So there is 2 free kills that the Hecarim has given the enemy team. It's not in vain though, because we just did get obviously the tower, which is great. Mid lane tower is the most important tower of the game. In the early game, obviously the base towers are the more important ones, but in the early, you know, pre-20 minutes, mid lane is definitely the most important one because it opens the map, you know, completely. You know, if you're stuck as a mid laner in your lane because minions are constantly getting pushed, then, you know, it's kind of sucky that you can't roam, you can't look for things. But if you manage to get their tower and your minions are constantly pushing into their territory, the map opens up for you and you can roam around, look for kills, help your team. As a Ziggs or a Lux, you can be halfway down the river and then throw your ultimate down or laser your ultimate down and there's no problem. But just to kind of go on my point again, with the Elementalist skin, I am going to try an ultimate here to clear the mini wave. The tower, unfortunately, is too low, so that won't go down. Or it will go down. But the Elementalist skin, again, I'm colorblind, and I have not had one problem so far this game with seeing. Now, admittedly, a lot of people think that there's 2 forms that are the worst. The light form, her base form of Elementalist, and the Hydra form. And this Lux Gangplank ult comes down to try and stop these guys. I'm going to go for the Michael Jordan, see if we're going to get it. We don't. Both of them die straight away. So no assists for me. My team's doing very well if you haven't gathered at this point. But it's Hydra or water and light. I didn't have any problems with light. This Lux did go fire, but still, I could see every spell. I could see the Q, could see the E, because it's all sparkly and flashy. So to me, it's not a big issue, because a lot of people have said, oh, you should disable that skin until you fix it, or it shouldn't be allowed in ranked. I'll be honest, if I can see it, then I don't know how other people can't. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but I don't know, I just don't get it. So the game is moving more in a rapid way that you'd expect. You know, you don't expect to be a whole 5-man team in top lane of all lanes at 21 minutes looking for the inhibitor tower. That's kind of rare. So this game is moving quickly, and this is why I say you can never say when early game, mid game, and late game is. I can't just say that to you. It happens in the game at random times, depending what game or champions there are. You know, it's not a generic at 15 minutes mid-game starts. That's not actually how it works. Is that right now we are in mid-game, and it's very clear to see when it's mid-game because everybody's not in their lane, everybody's doing their own thing. And, you know, I'm a mid laner, my Ezreal's top lane, we're team fighting. That's a good sign you're now in mid-game. When will late game be? Late game generally is determined by how many items people have. So it's mid-game right now, but in 5 minutes, if we're doing the exact same thing, but then people have 2 or 3 full items, yeah, you could kind of call that late game. I'm going to continue the pressure. Nocturne did go above me, but I think he's going to try and loop around, or I'm going to try and go for a kill. I do knock the Jhin to try and get him back towards my team. Gangplank ult is going to come down. Boom, a double kill barrel from him. Triple kill. Unfortunately, Aurelia manages to get to my face, but there's a nice triple kill by the Gangplank. Unfortunate that I didn't pick them up. That could have been a very easy situation that Gangplank got a triple kill, or I got a triple kill, but he was the one that got it. But that's fine. Again, you don't always need to be the Batman. Sometimes you can be the Robin. And again, if you don't understand that phrase, you don't always need to be the hero. You know, you can be the sidekick occasionally that just helps out, that doesn't get all the credit, that doesn't get all the fame. And I'd say support mains, that's pretty much you most games, is that you do crazy stuff. And I've played support many a time, and I've done so much good stuff. And I'm like, whew, protecting my AD carry. And then someone will say, good job, Ezreal. And you'll be like, you kidding me? Like, I did everything there. So support mains, I salute you because you guys are the heroes of League of Legends, but you're kind of given the sidekick kind of role. But no, well done. I do want to just say that because you guys are underrated and underappreciated. But moving forward into the game, so what do you want to do as Ziggs generally? So Ziggs, again, he's a team fighting champion. I'm going to throw my ultimate again in the mid lane. He's a team fighting champion. He's a poke champion. He's also a good protect champion. If your AD carry is a little bit like, oh god, this guy has to be a little bit careful, you can throw your mines where your AD carry is. You can throw your W to ping people back away from your AD carry. It's good. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, I go alone, and then also my Ezreal goes along alone, which is a little bit weird, not going to lie. I don't know why Ezreal is by himself as an AD carry. It's a bit odd. I do manage to survive right now, but then again, Nocturne jumps on my face and I will go down. Pattern of this game, I think you'll be able to tell. Gangplank does one-shot the Lux in the back line, but unfortunately we are now outnumbered. We don't have the AD carry. He's dead. I'm dead, and so is Janna. These guys do decide to go for the fight. For some reason, Aurelia jumps onto the Gangplank when his ultimate is actually going on. So that's a mistake by her. Gangplank will try to continue a little bit. He probably is going to get outnumbered. He goes for a barrel kill on the Jhin, but yeah, he gets taken down. And we actually get aced. And it's not a big deal again. I just say in the chat, hey guys, you know, let's group and do the little tongue thing so people don't think I'm raging. Again, I'm not raging at this point. It's just sometimes adding the smiley face. It's a psychological thing a lot of the time, is that you just kind of let people know that, hey, I'm not angry, but yeah, let's group. So I will also come over. I've got ultimate back up in a couple seconds. And again, some people say, oh, if you had ultimate instead of wasting on the mid lane, that would have been better. Yeah, true. There's no denying that, but I didn't, you know. That's the point. You've got to play to what you're currently doing. And unfortunately, that situation happened. And again, all we need to do is group. Ezreal as an AD carry shouldn't be alone against people. I'm going to try my best to try and go for the Nocturne. I noticed he goes for the Blasting Plant, so I'm going to use my W to push him into the pit a little bit more and pick up the Baron. Now, unfortunately, his Spell Shield is on cooldown and he does survive. Lux will go for a bit of damage on me. It doesn't even get me to half health, so that's a good sign. She will go for the ultimate, and Jhin. It was actually at the same time. I do survive once again, so it's not a big deal. Lux is now out of position. The pony comes through, trying to kill her. Aurelia goes for the Ezreal. I do throw my mines just to be kind of like, okay, you can walk around them. And again, if you're playing with a Ziggs, remember to use his mines. You know, don't run away from his mines if you need to slow an enemy opponent. Run through his mines because you're not going to get slowed by them. The enemy team will. So I tried to use my W to bounce over the wall, but I didn't go close enough. And what you'll notice here is now a little bit... It's an annoyance that I have, and again, because I haven't been playing League a crazy amount in the past really year, it's going to take me a while to kind of get good at it again. I actually, surprisingly, used to be a pretty good last hitter. I haven't been in quite some time. I'm going to go for a bit of damage on the Lux. Unfortunately, I don't pick her up yet. Going to continue going for the team fight. Hecarim does go down. I get Lux lasered. Aurelia will eventually go down again, and then finally the Nocturne. So it's a one-team fight, just only one casualty in the Hecarim. But as I was mentioning, I used to be a pretty good last hitter, believe it or not, because I played over 5 games a day, sometimes 10 games a day. And I find last hitting is all about consistency, how much you're playing, how much you're getting used to it. And it's going to take me a while to get back to that point. But what doesn't help, and what you'll probably notice for the next 5-10 minutes, is unfortunately when, boom, another kill for me, is when my team group mid and I'm just getting no farm. Again, it's normal. You can't really complain about it because it's a competition at the end of the day. Everybody's mid lane, everybody farms. Going to try and go for the Lux. We're going to see what we can do. I throw a Q down, throw the W down, don't get anything from it. So we do get 1 kill on the Jhin, which is nice. Most of my kills, admittedly, this game have been from just throwing my ultimate at things. Standard mid lane, really. I'm going to go for the red buff, give that to Ezreal. I don't really need it. Again, it's not bad for Ziggs, but I don't need it. Infernal Dragon is up in 2 minutes. But yeah, I just need to focus on last hitting a bit more. The whole idea is eventually, most of the time, as a mid laner, everybody's going to come mid and then you won't get much farm anymore. So you need to have a lot of farm before that happens. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you miss 1 or 2 minions per wave, which generally right now I am, that adds up like a lot. That's the difference between having 150 farm and nearly 200 farm at, you know, 15 minutes. So it's a big thing maintaining farm, and it's just something that I'm definitely working on right now. Another thing I need to work on is just my W's on Ziggs. Again, I've recently picked this champion back up, so I'm not expecting myself to be the best Ziggs in the world or, you know, as good as I used to be on him. It's going to take a little while, but I definitely need to kind of sort out my W's a bit more because I'm just not doing that right. Let's just quickly also talk about the build again. So I did opt for changing the build from the standard Ziggs build because, again, I have realized I am not the hero this game. Ezreal completely gets obliterated, unfortunately for him. Hey, Nocturne didn't go on me for once. That's kind of cool. Going to talk about the build after. Teamfight is breaking down. We don't have Gangplank with us right now. He will be on his way. I get a kill on Nocturne. Use my mines to zone the Aurelia so she doesn't go on me. She actually goes on the Janna. My team will clear, and then eventually Aurelia is left. Now, we may have made a small mistake thinking Aurelia was dead right away, and maybe we could go for the Lux. Me and Gangplank both leave, but if you notice, she isn't dead yet, and now she's dead. So that took quite a while, and then Hecarim does want to go for the Baron. So we will go for it. I'm thinking if Gangplank does a lot of DPS, and he's very fed, let's be honest, we should be able to do this no problem. But again, Hecarim isn't a pure tank. He is going to take a considerable amount of damage from doing this. And also Gangplank for some reason isn't actually truly DPSing. So maybe this Baron isn't the best call. Again, I used to be in Dignitas, so Baron throws do happen. I know that quite a lot. Going back on the Ziggs build, though, is that I still have not got my Lich Bane, but I changed it from the standard. So because I'm not the hero, I don't need like a Death Cap. You know, Death Cap or Void Staff for more damage generally would have been my third item. But I'd rather the Riley, even the changed Riley, just to give the slow, just to zone the Aurelia a bit more, just to zone the Nocturne, to be more useful for my team in general, rather than me just as an individual. If I wanted more damage as an individual, yeah, Death Cap, sure. Or Void Staff, sure. But the Riley helps my team more. A lot more, so that's what I did. Aurelia, for some reason, maybe just not thinking, who knows, tries to go for a kill on the Janna of all people. Again, she's actually kind of a hard target to kill, and I'm thinking, don't go for it yet, go for it soon. I will try to zone the Nocturne a little bit away from this. I do actually hit him away, so this is, I'm like, right, I've hit him away, now do it. I don't know if Nocturne didn't have ultimate, maybe he didn't, but we managed to get the dragon without him coming over, which is great. And now we might be thinking, okay, we could do Baron now. We have all 5 people, so Hecarim will get shields from Janna, therefore he won't go really low, and then we can get the Baron, right? That's a good idea. So I think we will go over. And as a Ziggs, let me mention again, like I said earlier, is you're also a zoning champion. Your mines can be used to displace and be like a shepherd. So what am I going to do? Throw the mines in a choke point. They will not walk through them. Now Lux and Jhin ult comes back down. The Lux ult unfortunately does hit me. I'm going to throw my Ziggs ult. It only hits the Lux, and what I make another mistake of this game is I go alone thinking I can get kills, but then Nocturne just goes for me. Like, this Nocturne, I don't know if he didn't like me, but I do make a couple... It's my own fault. It's a positional mistakes. But any time that I'm a target, the Nocturne will just jump on my face. Even if it means he's going to die, which I guess is kind of worth it when you think about it. Hecarim does escape on very low health. But yeah, he does go for me. It does make me have more deaths than I would like. And I joke in chat going, these people don't like me. But again, it's my own positioning, you know, being there by myself. And yeah, it was great that I could potentially have got mines and done a lot of AoE damage. But sometimes you have to focus more on not dying rather than getting kills. And again, with playing more, that is something that's definitely going to become something that I do. The thing with me is I very rarely feed in League of Legends, but I also very rarely kind of pop off and go off on one. Like the Renekton episode, that was a little bit of a rarity nowadays, where that used to happen a lot more. Is I want that to happen a lot more, but whenever you play in that crazy aggression playstyle, then what happened to the Riven could happen is that you feed, is you're playing too aggressive and it doesn't work. So that's kind of why I've got this kind of neutral playstyle right now, that I'll look for opportunities. If they don't come, I'm not that fussed. It's not the best playstyle for carrying, not the best playstyle for climbing. Nocturne does finish off the Ezreal a couple moments ago, with both of them being extremely low health. And Nocturne will just continue to split push for a while. I don't know why. I guess maybe he just doesn't think they can do anything against us. I'm not really sure. But at this stage, I would probably have been turtling, not going for stuff. I do go for the Jhin, try to do as much as I can. We do try to zone him like away, but he actually comes towards me, which I didn't expect. So we put all the damage behind him. Lux will actually misposition so close and killing her. If she didn't get healed by Soraka, she probably would have died there. And I am like, look how much damage. You saw how much damage my passive did to the tower. And there's my satchel. So we get a free mid tower like straight away. And we're going to continue going for the hip. And then boom, straight away an inhibitor. From basically moments, like seconds from getting the tower to also inhibitor. That was really, really quick. I am thinking of, I want to kind of base. Again, Nocturne's had a history of going for me this game. He does it again, and I will go down. So that was, again, another mistake by me. I just got to kind of treat it as this Nocturne. And again, he probably doesn't. He's just seeing it as good opportunities. But in my own head, as a player, what I should think is this Nocturne hates me. So every single time that I'm in a a bad position, Nocturne is going to ult me. So what I've got to think is I've got to stay away from the person that hates me. And it's a weird game, but it's sometimes a mini game that you can play with yourself that actually works. Ezreal will go for an aggressive play. The pony will run down. Like I mentioned, that Hecarim has only got a Triforce, does half health to the AD carry in what's now late game. So that's why Hecarim is very good. Even in the early game, he does a lot of damage. And the late game, as a tank, he does a lot of damage with a great engage. And where everybody's going to go back... I'm obviously back in base because I died. And then my next item that I'm going to be building towards is that Death Cap. It's just to kind of get that a lot of damage finished, because again, the Lich Bane, it's a great item on Ziggs. It would potentially allow me to do half health on somebody with an auto attack, potentially even one-shot them with a Q auto attack, but it's just unlikely that I'm ever going to get into that range. So I'm going from the more poke build, the more damagey build with my abilities, and then maybe after the death cap, go for a Lich Bane. You can see my damage actually isn't that bad right now. It's actually pretty damn good. Nocturne, again, for some reason, is split pushing, gets caught and gets killed for free. The Gangplank is legendary. I do believe this gameplay had a very good game. I'm going to just finish off this little control ward just because I can, and I will join my team down in the bot lane where we can probably get a tower. Now, that was a Lux Q&E, and in late game, you're honestly looking for more damage than that. I'll go for the ultimate. Boom, there's another kill from me. Also do a decent amount of damage to the Aurelia, but unfortunately didn't pick up the kill. Put my satchel down already just in place. Do pick it up with my W. And we're going to continue in their base, going for another inhibitor, and maybe looking to the end of the game now. If we can, great. If we can't, then we'll probably just reset, go back by, use our gold that we've been getting, and, you know, it's awesome. Going to try and go for the Jhin on the base there. Unfortunately, couldn't get it. But I think that's pretty much going to be game. So this was Ziggs. I had an okay game. The biggest mistakes that I was making, honestly, was just mispositioning and not kind of thinking about the Nocturne. You know, after the second time of him doing it, I should have been like, okay, he's going to ult me if I misposition. But overall, a nice, solid win. My team played amazingly well, and it's always nice to see good play. And if you just complement that play, well, that's also pretty good. So anyway, we're going to go to the outro where I recorded it after the game. Okay, so I'm back live after playing the game. Honestly, it was an okay game. Obviously, the Gangplank went crazy. The Hecarim played really well. So my team generally did quite well. I did some okay things. Oh, it was just the Nocturne always jumping on my face and just killing me. Like, it was my fault in several of my deaths because I always put myself alone, and that gave Nocturne a free target to go to. So I could have played a little bit better. You can see there's rage happening a little bit, which is actually from my team, apparently. I know the Janna was causing problems. That's why I muted her straight away. Like, if you have someone with that type of summoner name, yeah, you can guess the type of person it's going to be. Damage done, though. All my team did more than me. They played well. That's all I can really say. I did what a Ziggs is supposed to do in a lot of situations. You saw my ultimate killing people several times, and that's Ziggs. If you get really fed on Ziggs, which I didn't this game, then I could have been a bit more impactful. But because my team was doing so well, I kind of just let them do whatever, and I just did normal stuff. You could also see I was very hard to get farm to nearing that 200 CS point. I just couldn't get there because everybody else was in mid taking farm. But overall, a good game. I'm happy that I won. So that is now 3-2. 3 wins, 2 losses in the first 5 games. So from now on, the next 5 games of placements and this whole Climb to Master series is going to be from live commentaries. But the cool thing is that these episodes that have come out recently, you guys haven't minded this style. So whenever I know if I'm in a really important placement or a really important promotion series, I may go back to this style just so I can try hard a little bit more in the game. But yeah, live is going to be back next episode. So if you're excited about that, throw a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.